YCS of all time.
Yeah. Sorry,
We got a real treat for you this next round.
bit of a slow start there because I was unsure as to whether we were on or not.
Ah, right.
Oh,
Okay. I thought you were
now
just
we're on.
lost it where in the world we were.
I think we just went on. Okay, I'm confused now. I'm confused. Tech team, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know when we were starting. Anyway, we're on. We're definitely on now. We have a treat for this next round. Yeah, tell us about it, Matt.
So, one of the new deck types that we've had come out recently, make sure our players have got their headsets on, they're not listening, no cheating, is Danger. And we're going to be taking a sneak peek into that. And we've currently got a 2-0 player on this archetype.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So he's one of, I think, about 10 players, not many players who are playing this specific version of Danger. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I absolutely love this theme. I love the thematic behind this theme, and I think it's really awesome.
I loved it when we saw the concept, and the idea was that they were, the cards are like hiding in your hand, and your opponent has to discover them, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh my god, this just works so well.
Yeah, it was really
It was super
clever.
funny, and it came across really well in the cards.
Yeah, it's really clever the way that the cards work, and I'm a huge fan.
How is this variant of the Danger deck actually doing in the whole tournament at the moment?
Not sure.
Not sure. Okay, the computer is thinking.
The computer's
It was
thinking
my
about it.
fault. Technically, I asked how Valkyrie was doing, and the computer just went, why, and broke.
Yeah,
That's on me.
We have just one guy playing Valkyrie, so
He's here.
he's here. He's playing.
I'm sure it'll get better.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, it can't get much worse.
shall we... Shh, be nice, be nice. All right, shall we move over to the feature match table and get ready to start?
No, I don't think they're ready. They're not quite ready. Let's keep talking. So, Matt, tell me, what's your favorite Danger monster?
Can't tell you because it's not released yet.
Oh, do you know what? As I was asking the question, I kind of thought to myself, that may happen, that you may say that. What's even worse is now I'm starting to think that if my favorite Danger monster has been released yet.
Well, let's go see if we can discover them in our feature match.
Ollie, take it away.
Yeah, come on, Ollie.
Ollie, take it from us.
Come on.
Yeah, no problem. I can cover for you guys. If you guys want to know what Matt Bell's favorite Danger monster is, and you want to know all about his effect, no problem. You just have to send him a postcard or an email or a Facebook message.
Facebook messages are the way forward.
He's happy to receive those. And I think he's learning the lesson that he shouldn't call my colleague by an erroneous name.
Exactly.
Because he's stopped it now. So we're getting somewhere. All right, round number 3. We got 2 Daniels. We got Daniel Brütt on the left-hand side, Daniel Winkler on the right-hand side, both from Germany, as the name indicates in a way. We got one deck that is Danger and Dark World.
Danger Dark World, yeah.
And it's not, we couldn't tell like, oh, it's clearly just this one thing.
I think it's
It's a perfect mixture,
Danger
basically.
Dark World. They have this really nice synergy of Danger's discard cards.
Yeah.
Dark Worlds are like being discarded. Who couldn't? You know?
Somebody figured out something there, yeah. Somebody was onto something. And Daniel Winkler playing Burning Abyss, a deck that we mentioned at the beginning of the day.
Yeah. I mean, Burning Abyss is just the sort of ever-present,
Undying,
comes
unbeatable.
back in different forms.
Yeah. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to be positioned for this weekend and then against another rogue deck.
Yes. So this is the sort of thing where Burning Abyss traditionally have struggled with just dealing with a lot of big monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Farfa to banish one, but that's not great because it comes back.
It's also one. It's not like...
It's one as well. It's one at a time. You can only use one Farfa, so it's not like you're playing a deck where you summon loads of big monsters. I don't know. But they've traditionally struggled with that sort of thing. So, I mean, maybe just the Danger deck, what it can do is all of the Danger cards just summon themselves, and they're quite beefy. You know, Bigfoot's 3k.
Of course. I mean, they
Nessie's big defense.
legendary creatures.
Exactly.
Everybody knows they all exist. Every
They do
single
all
one
exist.
Of them.
Well, we'll see if they...
Yeah, if they exist
if
on
they
the field
exist.
in our feature match.
Yeah.
With that, we found a bit of a segue. Let's take you guys to the feature match and get our game on for round 3 of YCS Utrecht. Alright, so here we have Daniel Brütt on the left, Daniel Winkler on the right. Usually I don't like to refer to duelists by their last names. I think in this case we can't really get around that. I saw a Black Luster Soldier in...
I think I saw 2.
2 even in Daniel Brütt's
It
hands.
sounds good, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get them live very fast with the rest of his hand.
He's got 3 copies in his deck at least.
Yeah, I think I saw 2. So there's 2, 1 Skarm, 1 Snow, and 1 Ash, which, I mean, unless I'm missing something, it looks very much like either a first turn set Skarm pass or just a first turn pass.
If he goes first, do we know?
I think I saw him going first, yeah.
All right.
It's a bit of an... I mean, the nice thing their favourite thing, one of the favourite things people always say about Burning Abyss, all you need is 2 Burning Abyss monsters to make a Dante. But in this case, he's not got 2 Burning Abyss monsters, which is unfortunate, I guess.
So that all-you-need requirement, even though the threshold is pretty low, he's still missed it.
Yeah.
And also, Fairy Tale Snow is not a card that you want to draw very early on if you don't have a graveyard yet.
Yes, it's not a card you want to draw at all, actually. I think the aim is to send it with Beatrice.
Yeah, that's
a great send-off.
That's a pro move. All right, so here we see Allure of Darkness.
Yeah, and this is probably where you look at your opponent and go,
what is happening?
Wasn't expecting that. So this Ash, he's got this one Ash to interrupt, but there's going to be about 10 different cards played this turn that could get hit by Ash, and Tour Guide is probably the one that you do hit with Ash, I'd say.
And speaking of the openings, because we just said that Daniel Winkler didn't have the most explosive of openings, Daniel Brütt couldn't really ask for much more here.
No, you can't really ask for much more than just a pass. Set one pass. I mean, it's not like 20, whatever it is.
Yeah. But like
we're in 2019, you don't want to set one pass.
Right. We see an Allure, we see a Tour Guide. He's also got Dark World Dealings, which he can actually
seriously
use.
Old school. Set your hand, activate, drag down, discard a Dark World.
Now the second Blackluster Soldier is live. Well, almost live. As soon as the Scam.
I mean, one Blackluster Soldier won't win you the game by itself anymore.
No, no. Fair point.
Back in the day, it probably would have, but nowadays, I mean, it might very well be that.
Maybe that was part of the combo.
We can set up an OTK on the first turn.
Expecting some interruption from your opponent so you can discard your Blackluster Soldiers. And then...
That was probably what he was thinking when he put the 3 Blackluster Soldier in. I can discard it with my... Honestly, I'm seeing this Into the Void. I love Into the Void. It's the most all-in card. It's like, I'm going to just draw cards.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home. And then during the end of my turn, I'm going to discard my hand because you're going to be dead. But yeah, I think, yes, we got all this turbo, which honestly I absolutely love decks.
Yeah, you said that. You looked at the deck list and you were me like, I love it. There's so much.
This is great. Honestly, my only complaint is that there isn't any more, you know? There's no Pot of Desire. Honestly, it is in German. Yeah. But I can't see Pot of Desire.
No, there is no Pot of Desire.
I can't see Upstart Goblin. And not seeing Upstart Goblin is one of the things that really upsets me.
Topf der Begierden.
Don't have that. Daniel Winkler has an excuse not to play Upstart Goblin because he's running Sekka's Light. That is a fair excuse.
That is a very fair excuse. And in fact, it is the only spell or trap in his deck. I mean, he's got 3 copies, of course.
That is required to use it.
Yeah, but like, should point that out for the people at home who don't know that. And he's playing exactly 40 cards. We've seen that in some of the first feature matches of the day that players are going with 45, 43 cards, something like that. These guys, both of them, in fact, are sticking to the minimum requirement.
I mean, that is the perceived wisdom is you play less cards, so you draw the ones you need.
But sometimes when you have so many
people
sent to the graveyard effects,
can't choose, or they think their deck's going to run out. Yeah, it depends whether you think your deck is consistent enough to want to. Then you'd value the extra resources over the consistency in the main deck.
Or you're playing something like that grass looks greener.
Or you're playing grass. Yeah, that's a good enough reason. To be playing 16.
Talking about requirements. All right.
Oh yeah, I love that. The Chupacabra is a fiend, so you can discard it for gates. We've seen some of the which is quite cool. It's a sort of synergy with another synergy with Dangers and Dark Worlds. So I'm wondering what his next plays, because I can't...
So how much is that known? Like, do people always, they look at the danger cards and they're immediately like, you should really combine this with Dark World? Or is it something where you're like...
I would say it's probably the first thing people thought when they tried... I think people have actually tried them in Burning Abyss as well. But I think Dark World and Burning Abyss are the most popular 2 options so far. I mean, honestly, they seem reasonably splashable in just anything.
Yeah. It's also, like, the cards themselves, the monsters, they're powerful, but they don't need a lot of support in terms of spell and traps.
I mean, Bigfoot's a card you could almost just play in whatever and just, you know, it's either going to summon a 3k monster without normal summoning or just pop a card.
Sounds good.
Pretty good. The Utopia the Lightning used to try and negate monster effects, which is quite amusing, but it's not quite going to work. So normally you run over a monster with Utopia and the effect can't be used.
Yeah.
Until the end of the damage step, but Scam activates in the end phase.
So in that case,
so I'm pretty sure
unless he forgets
he
about
still
it,
gets the search. Unless he just forgets the search.
Yeah,
indeed. So
we've seen that before. I mean, we shouldn't, but I
mean, it's easy to do. Scam's one of the easiest things to forget. You know, you're waiting to draw your card, and you're like, oh no,
yeah,
I missed it.
All right.
So
there's a bit of a question, I guess, when the effect triggers exactly.
I'm not sure about
and
how he's gone about. I don't think...
If it triggers in the damage step, can you negate it? Because I would be surprised about that.
I mean, you don't negate it just as your opponent can't activate any cards or effects.
Yep.
So the Dark World deck kind of petered out a bit before we wanted to see it, I'd say. It would have been nice to have seen some Grapha action. But it's looking like it's kind of come to a halt.
Yeah, so here we have question for our table judge.
I'm not sure what the question is.
I think it's mostly
it might be as to whether you have to use Utopia's detach effect. Because you can detach materials to double its attack and defense. I don't really know why you'd do that if you didn't have to, because you're not really expecting to run into a monster with more than 2,500 defense.
Yeah, I mean, he can only detach them for the attack boost, which doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I don't see why
he can even easily, is the word I'm looking for, attack over that Scam.
Yeah, and you can see its Scam before you attack over it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no! Aha! It loses a 500 because of the Witch's Apprentice.
Oh, did we forget about that effect?
The Witch's Apprentice.
Right.
It's not one you come up with. I'm interested how the snow got discarded. Why he's discarding cards.
We only have the Ash Blossom and Blacklust in the app here. I think he took it back because that whole thing happened.
I know. Yeah, I just don't know what.
And they basically
in the
they
end
rewinded
phase,
the game. Yeah.
in the end phase so he attacked and it didn't die, and then the cards are being discarded in the end phase for the copies of Into the Void. So he discarded Snow from first Into the Void, and then you have to resolve. That's a card effect, so Snow triggers, and then you have to resolve the second Into the Void, and then he discarded Snow again, and then he searched Grapha.
All right. So now we do have the minimum requirement of
double BA, and in fact it's better than minimum, I would say, because one of them is Graph.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Now we are definitely getting somewhere. So in the hand we can see a Scam, Droll, and another BLS.
Soldier, yep, which is now more than life.
It's now more than life, and that's a good mill of Farfa, because if he banishes the Utopia, then that will make it'll get the snow out from underneath it. Which is pretty handy. That's what he's choosing to do.
It's a bit of an understatement. Pretty handy.
It is pretty handy, Snow.
It's really good, isn't it?
It is a pretty good card. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just going to try and push for game here, because he's seen that. I mean, when you see like a turbo deck like this, you're not really expecting many defensive trap cards, right? You see even Into the Void, it's like, okay, he's probably not playing many traps.
It kind of tells you there's not going to be Mirror Force coming or something like that.
And he's got the BLS in hand, so I would fully expect just maybe there might be a Link Summon first and then upgrade the Dante into
this
Beatrice.
Is not a
and try
deck
and
that
swing
like
the game.
24/7 wants to go OTK. Burning Abyss usually is notorious for hanging in there forever and ever and ever.
Well, it just sets up this Beatrice where you just kind of say, okay, what are you going to do? Like, you have to have very sort of clean removal with Beatrice, because if you destroy it, then something even more annoying comes out in its place. There's a untargetable thing. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, all right, so you can't kill the Beatrice because something worse comes out, which is it's just quite annoying. So the Dante's coming back off the Seer and adding back the Seer as well, so those best of friends never die between them. And then I'm assuming, it looks to me like he's got a nice line just to attack for game by...
Yeah, we also have like 8 or 9 cards in the graveyard already, so bringing back Snow should be easy enough.
Bringing back Snow should be easy, yeah. I think it's just BLS, use Underclock Taker to make one of the attacks 0 as well.
That also helps.
That also helps, and then you can upgrade the...
there it is, and we were talking about that earlier. When you said one BLS doesn't mean game immediately anymore.
It doesn't immediately. I mean, it's like... It means you can kill them, sure.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a whole lot.
It helps to kill them, but it doesn't mean it's not going to like win you the game by itself. He's needed quite a few other cards here, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but like I said, it definitely helps.
It definitely helps.
So here's the first attack.
I'm assuming he's done his arithmetic and figured out this is game. Otherwise, you definitely would have wanted to put the BLS not under the Underclock Taker,
right? In
order to upgrade it into a Beatrice. So if we count, so the BLS first to hit will be for 2/5, because the Witch's Apprentice, that very relevant attack deficit. So I think it's actually more damage if he hits over the Witch's Apprentice with the Underclock Taker first, actually.
But you have to attack direct immediately again with the BLS.
Yeah, so if you hit the Witch's Apprentice with the Underclock Taker for 1,000, then you can hit over Nessie. It would have done 500 more damage, but I'm assuming he's worked it out in his game anyway.
I mean, he's still got the snow. So
he's still got snow for 1850.
So he can be tricky and summon it during the battle step.
Battle phase.
Battle phase.
And he could summon it during
battle
the battle
step. Is part of the battle phase.
The battle step is part of the battle phase, indeed.
Right, and here it is. Now it's just a simple question of do you have enough cards, and he's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Banish cards from the field.
Exactly.
Hand,
he's just gonna drop his hand if he has to. And that is it. That's pretty explosive second turn for Daniel Winkler in that first duel of the third round.
After a somewhat
slow start basically.
Somewhat slow start. I mean,
just a scam.
One of the all of the Dark World Turbo cards are pretty cool, but they do have this downside of your opponent discarding and drawing cards, which is not necessarily something you want your opponent to be able to do. So like Dark World Dealings is amazing for what it does for the Dark World deck. Yeah. But then actually your opponent getting to draw and discard a card. You're not so sure that's a good thing, especially against a deck like Burning Abyss, right, where all their effects trigger in the graveyard.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those guys are going to be side decking here. What do we see when we're looking at the side decks?
So I'm seeing triple Gozen match.
That's Daniel Brütt, our Danger Dark World player.
So Gozen match is definitely something that could come in against Burning Abyss, because obviously the Burning Abyss monsters are dark and the Dante is light. And
he's also got the BLS part where he needs a few more lights.
He's got the BLS, so in terms of outs to that, I assume there is a copy of the Phantom Knights of Breaksword, so it does out the Gozen match. But in a deck that's running 37 monsters, I would say Skill Drain is probably going to be coming in. Because that's a lot of monster effects you can negate. I can see a single copy of Mask Change 2, is that?
Yes, it is.
Which is definitely going to be a powerful card against Burning Abyss.
We got Vanity's Fiend, which is also really good against effect
Burning
monsters.
Abyss, indeed.
Twin Twisters.
You're thinking of Majesty's Fiend, possibly. But I mean, Vanity's Fiend is quite good against Burning Abyss anyway.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Twin Twisters probably not.
No.
And then is that Mind Control?
No, that's...
No, at the bottom.
Oh, this is Mind Control, yeah.
See, I can recognise... I'm impressed.
Quite interesting,
I can get card names in general. It's just got Control at the end.
Even though we do have handwriting involved here. And this is some virus, Eradicator virus.
Oh, Eradicator, Epidemic virus.
Yeah, Epidemic, yeah.
Tribute monster with 2/5 dark and win the game.
Makes sense with that.
But not against this deck.
Not in this one, no.
Destroying all their spells is not very handy.
I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, that is a good card. Alright, so let's take a look at the Burning Abyss list.
Honestly, I can't see what's coming in from Burning Abyss.
Imperial Order, Twin Twister, nah. Ghost Reaper,
I guess we'll find out, but I don't see what you... I mean, maybe the Vanity's Fiend shuts down all the... You can't activate the danger cards under Vanity's Fiend. But I don't know what else you would side in.
It's also got Elephant.
You might side Twin Twister if you're afraid of your opponent having some floodgates in their deck.
Alright, it seems like these guys are ready. The hand of Daniel Brütt, our Danger Dark World player, is already loaded in.
He's got his lone copy of Mask Change 2, but he has chosen to go second.
And here we see the opening hand for Daniel Winkler, who this time around has 5 monsters. It's almost the exact opposite.
He had 5 monsters last game.
Oh yeah, he did. Sorry. Yeah, we were talking. We were hung up so much on the he needs 2 Burning Abyss cards.
He needs 2 Burning Abyss, and that is a very, very, very good mill.
Oof.
Hitting this there, because now you can. I mean, he could have made a Beatrice anyway, but it just gives you a free extra monster, which, to be fair, he might not use. Is he chosen not to use it? Yeah.
Why does he not choose to use it?
Oh no, he is choosing to use it. I mean, it depends whether you want to link away. So if you put a Beatrice on top of Dante, now it has 2 materials. Whereas instead you could choose to link the Dante, and so you have your link monster, but then the Dante comes... Oh, the Dante can't come back off Seer Effect if you do that, because you've already used Seer Effect. Oh, he's just passing. He's not even making a Beatrice.
Is he?
Yeah, he's searching for Scam.
So...
That's an interesting decision.
Yeah.
So he's valuing having the extra Scam on board, because the Scam would die if he made Beatrice.
Right.
And you would have Beatrice stuck in your extra monster zone, which is not always what you want.
But you don't seem like you're 100% with him here. I mean, it's an interesting play. Would you agree to it?
I mean, Beatrice is a more... If you're scared of what your opponent's going to do, then you want Beatrice so you can interrupt your opponent. So in this case, he's got the 1 Ghost Ogre to interrupt his opponent, which it might be enough. I mean, I guess maybe he just doesn't really know what his opponent's deck is going to do. But I mean, from my mind, the one Ghost Ogre, I would probably have wanted to make the Beatrice. Then you can send Snow, and Snow is like one of them cards that's it interrupts your opponent, and there's almost no way to force it out if they don't want.
Yeah.
So with like any other, like if it's a spell or trap,
it's like a Dark Crow. DD Crow. Sorry, it's like the only card.
Yeah,
that
or like Caught by the Grave. But there's really not that much that forces out Snow, so it's kind of like ultimate defense is Snow.
All right, so
he's going straight in for the Mask Change. Oh, I love it. So this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is definitely not something we're going to see very often this weekend.
Mask Change 2 is going to upgrade his Chupacabra into a Dark Law, and then Bigfoot is going to trigger to destroy and banish the Dante, which is completely brutal. And then attack over the Scarm.
Talk about a 1-2 punch.
That is pretty brutal. Yeah.
Oof. And it seemed so easy for him. It wasn't like, okay, I need to really find a way to get around this. He's like, yeah, I got this. This is what I do. It's
quite frustrating as well, because he's got... I don't know whether you can activate Gallus. I should probably double-check the text of Gallus that's in his hand. So I assume you can activate Gallus, and it's fine.
You can reveal this card in your hand, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, then, if it was a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its level.
I can't see the text of Gallus to see whether it's a cost to send the top card or a part of the effect. If it's a cost, then you can't activate Gallus. Is it before a semicolon?
Yeah. It's really hard to read, sorry.
Then it's a cost, yeah. So I'm assuming the Phantom Knight's Breaksword is going to come down here?
No, it's part of the effect.
It's part of
send the top card of your deck to the graveyard.
Okay, in that case you could use it if you wanted to, and it looks like he is going to.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's hard to read because of the effect text. It's just like our screen.
It's far away from our screen. Yeah.
Our screen is far away from us.
And the judge is also not sure about whether you can activate it. But if it's not a cost,
yeah, we can explain problem-solving card text again for the guys that are watching this.
Sure.
And they haven't been watching in 2 years.
Some of the important parts of problem. So there's sort of activation conditions, followed by cost. Followed by effect.
There's a semicolon.
Followed by cost, semicolon, followed by
semicolon.
Effect.
Yep.
So the thing that's going on here is Gallus says you have to send something from the top of your deck to the graveyard. And if it's part of the... Dark Law is not going to let it go to the graveyard, it's going to get banished.
Yeah.
So if it's a cost to send
which
something to the graveyard...
resolve, like you always have to pay the cost.
Then you wouldn't be able to use the effect.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to even activate the effect. But because it's part of the effect,
just
it's okay to try and to activate effect. It's not going to do exactly what you want it to do.
But there's nothing stopping you from activating it.
There's nothing stopping you from activating effect that's not going to do what it says on the tin. I guess
it's a reasonable example to get an idea of how this whole thing works.
And now he's making Borrowload Dragon to be a bit nasty and steal the Dark Law.
Wow.
So he had a number because of all the sort of gas he had in his hand. I guess there were a number of options as to how he was going to get rid of the Dark Claw. So the simplest option is just summon Tour Guide, make Phantom Knight's Breaksword, pop it. But he's gone for this, which ends with the Dark Claw on his own board, which is presumably quite irritating for the opponent, because
I wouldn't be happy about that.
Like you need your Dark World to be discarded to the graveyard. It depends. I think it could be outed if he's just got a big. Oh, he just straight up passed. He said, "I don't want to deal with the Dark Law." Just pass, let it go to the graveyard. Because if you activate Danger Effect, then your Danger monster just hits the grave immediately.
Where does he go from here? He's got Fiendish Rhino Warrior and Farfar.
Yeah, Fiendish Rhino Warrior has become really important in the Burning Abyss deck now, because it used to be that you could just sit on Burning Abyss monsters all day long, but now because you need Link monsters, if you try and have a Burning Abyss monster and a Link monster on the field, then your Burning Abyss monster will die.
Yeah.
So you need the Fiendish Rhino Warrior now more than ever for its effect that prevents destruction.
But that is apparently enough. He assembled just a bit of a field.
It looked like...
Was there a snow involved?
No, I think the life points just hadn't updated from last turn. He would have attacked for 2/4 with Dark Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Plus another 3k with Borrowload.
So we were still under the impression that Daniel Brütt had a lot of... like a bit of a reservoir, like a reserve of life points. When he didn't, he was already like on the brink of defeat in a way.
Well, he'd just taken the 2/4, and then the 3k from Borrowload.
And interestingly enough, Daniel Winkler after that setup, he still had a Ghost Ogre. Like, there was still places to go for him or stop his opponent from going. Let's talk about it a little bit more in our post-match analysis. So for the fans out there that wanted to see Danger, or the version of Danger together with the Dark World deck succeed, we have to have some bad news. But then again...
I am sad. I was one of those fans.
Yeah, you were. You were a believer once you saw the deck list.
I liked the deck list quite a lot.
Pretty early on board. It's not one of those bandwagon fans. You were like the true believer from the very beginning.
I wouldn't call myself a true believer. Just a believer. I just thought they were cool.
Okay.
You know, you can't go overboard.
No, okay. So otherwise you might end up on the Titanic or something. And
exactly.
Then, yeah. So Burning Abyss shows that it's still a deck. Nobody's surprised about that, I guess.
Nobody's surprised about that at all.
We did see Burning Abyss in 7th place the first time we looked at the metagame breakdown this weekend, and we predicted, because that's almost always a fair prediction, that Burning Abyss is going to climb the ranks and go up in relative numbers. It's very often a lot of Burning Abyss players have been playing this deck for years and years and years. It's also very consistent. Some of the other decks not so much, not always at least, and then throughout the course of the tournament they climb. And that actually brings us to a little history lesson, because YCS 100 we also saw like a super old deck that was rather consistent. I think that, was it Dark World even?
Dark World. I don't think Dark World's ever been known for its consistency.
It's not one. No, it's not.
But it won the 100th YCS at Long
It won the
Beach,
100th YCS. Okay, it's not a consistent deck. I take that back. But it was a deck that nobody expected on that day. That was a bit of an older archetype.
It was. I think it was always around.
Yeah, but not like.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I always just liked. I liked drawing cards.
It wasn't part of the gauntlet.
That's
like
my favorite.
The gauntlet of like the 10 decks that you need to beat to do well in this tournament. I'm not sure.
In the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
you're just throwing me on the bus.
We're going to have a very silly discussion if we try and argue what were the top 10 decks for the 100th YCS
100
meta.
YCSs ago, yeah. We're not going to go into that. No, at least not now. We're going to do some more research in between rounds, and then maybe we're going to get to that. All right, so what is your takeaway? What do you think about the Dark World Danger deck?
I would say it didn't quite pull together. Like, you kind of wanted to see a Grapher involved. So one of my favourite things about the Dark World deck at the moment is how Firewall Dragon and Grapher interact, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because when you summon your Dark World, you bring it back for Grapher, you link away the Grapher, and then Firewall lets you summon the Dark World and summon the Grapher back again, which is the kind of crazy stuff that I want to see going on.
Usually only see shenanigans like that in the Trickstar deck.
Bring back something. Yeah, keep going. I mean, it's that sort of thing. But that didn't pull together, so no Grapher actually got played. And then game 2, he kind of went straight in for the Hail Mary game plan of summon Darklaw, see if it wins me the game.
To be
did
fair,
have quite a big impact.
Yeah, that happened a couple of times, especially in the feature match.
Oh yeah, I mean, Darklaw was a very
you have to feel like playing Darklaw in the feature match is like 50% there. You're 50% there.
This is one of the things about Danger is that, like, you can't try. If you try and play the Danger cards before, you might discard the wrong card from your hand.
Yeah.
So it's always a bit of a gamble with Danger.
There's danger involved, yeah.
There is danger involved with the Danger cards, indeed. And then I guess it was just left for the Burning Abyss to sort of clean up.
Yeah. So our final word is basically the deck doesn't seem to be quite there yet. But it's going to get some more help. We heard that earlier, that Matt told us there's new cards coming for the new archetype, which is not a surprise, of course. Speaking of which, we're going to take you guys now over to Matt and Luke, who also have the winner of this round for an interview.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Yes, we are here with our feature match winner who played Burning Abyss.
Congratulations, Dan. How you doing? Daniel, sorry.
I'm doing good.
Is it okay to call you Dan?
Yes,
All right.
okay. All right.
Wow, you must
We're
have been...
basically friends at this point.
Yeah, we're all super cash on the analysis desk.
Yeah.
So you must have been pretty scared going into that first game where you just look at your opening hand and just go, set one pass in this format?
Yeah, I saw the 2 VLS and I'm like, wow, that's not a good hand.
Yeah. Well, it happens. It's got to happen every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then your opponent let you dig out of it when he's playing things like Dark World Dealings and stuff like that. You must have been like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really good.
No, it was good. What do you think of the new Danger cards?
I actually liked them, and I thought of playing them myself, but then I saw the prizes, and then so I stuck to my old cards.
Do I go to the YCS or do I buy the Danger cards? I kind of need the Danger cards for the YCS. Yeah, I can see how that decision ended up that way.
We will
Absolutely.
see. Yes.
So you were telling us that you've been to 2 YCSs before and it's
Yes.
kind of spread out quite a lot, your journey of being at YCSs.
Yes.
Would you say this is the best one you've been to so far?
Well, no, I can't say anything because it's the first day and
Okay.
I want to see some more. But it's very good.
You got to work a bit harder to get the Michelin star.
Yeah.
You don't just get it on the first dish.
Yeah, and on my first YCS I was like 12, and that's like the nostalgic
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got that kind of feeling as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Yeah, I must say I'm the same with my first YCS. I was a bit like, even though it's, you know, it was a sealed pack YCS, it was quite a small one, it was in Brussels, but
Yeah.
I still remember it.
I was in Brüssel
It
too.
was the same one?
Oh, you were in Brussels?
Yes, yeah.
There we go. See?
I never actually got to play in a YCS. By the time they came to Europe, I was actually in the judging community quite heavily, and then I joined the
Okay.
Konami team afterwards.
Yeah.
So I never got to play a YCS.
But I think I'm trying to think how many YCSs I actually played. One specifically I remember, my friend topped with Shadow. So we had Shadow and Telenites. This was in YCS Madrid, and for some crazy reason I decided that I wanted to play Telenites, so I let him have Shadow, and then he topped with it. So I should have
wow.
picked
Well, that's
Shadow.
on you, right? You
That's
just
on me.
chose the
Yeah,
wrong
no, that's
deck.
on me. That's on me. Yeah, I absolutely should have played Shadow.
So, Dan, let's talk about your second game when you saw that Dark Claw coming down with the Mass Change 2 and everything all of a sudden, because you made the conservative play of not going up into the Beatrice, and you're like, this seems like a good position, I got the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
Scarm,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden Dark Claw comes down. Like, what were your thoughts of that situation?
First I thought, oh shit, there's a Dark Law.
Easy there. You're going to get my
Oh,
channel
okay, yeah,
flag.
okay. So I thought, oh man, there's a Dark Law there. And
Much better. Good
then,
job.
yeah, sorry about that. And then I thought about what can I do against Dark Law, and I thought if Dark Law is hitting me so hard, it could hit him too. And then I did my body load, and then I was
Yeah.
right.
That's a good way to think about it.
I like that. I like that strategy. It's just like, oh, what do I do about Dark Law? I steal it. That's the best plan.
Yeah, yeah. If you can't deal with something, then taking it away from them is always a good plan.
Yeah, the Gallus came good.
So, what are your thoughts on this format for the rest of the tournament? Like, what are you most expecting to play against?
Actually, I don't know, but with my friends, we told about it a lot, and we said something like Sky Striker or maybe Goki and Altergeist and that stuff, and I'm just playing.
Well, you're playing really well.
Yes.
You're 3-0 right now.
Yes, yeah.
All right, well, let's not keep Dan any longer.
Yeah, I'm sure he has to go back to his friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're going to be right back with the next round of YCS 200.